The AD curve marks out the total demand of goods and services in the economy and consists of 5 components which are C, I, G, X and M. C is consumer expenditure, I being investment, G being government expenditure, and X minus M being net exports. The AS curve marks out the total supply of goods and services in the economy, and the intersection of the AS curve and the AD curve will determine the GPL and the real NI. Firstly, GPL is reduced when AD is lowered, ceteris paribus. AD is a total demand by households, firms, government, and foreign sectors for the final goods and services that is produced in the economy at various price levels. When C, I, G, X decrease or M increase, AD will be lowered in a sense that AD curve will shift left, thus GPL will decrease, ceteris paribus. The LRAS curve is increased due to an increase in productive capacity. An increase in productivity capacity should be due to new resources found, advancements in technology, employment of more workers. This will thus cause the GPL to be lowered.
Quantitative MP adjusts the interest rates by controlling the amount of money supplied in the market. Firstly, by raising the bank rates, commercial banks are unable to obtain much loans from the central bank to carry out credit creation. Secondly, by raising the cash ratio, commercial banks must keep more cash as reserves in their banks, and thus they have to cut down on the amount of money to set aside for credit creation. Lastly, when the government conducts open market operations, the commercial banks would have to buy these government's bonds using their own money. This thus reduces money supply. As the money supply decreases, whether is it by raising bank rate, cash ratio, or conducting open market purchase of bonds, the interest rate increases according to the liquidity preference graph. From here, we can see using the MEI curve that investment drop. Therefore, since I decreases, aggregate demand decreases. With the falling of money supply, the interest rates will rise as shown here. This will affect the C and I components, as people have to pay more for interest when they borrow loans from the commercial banks to fulfill their purchases and also to invest in companies. If interest rates are higher, they will tend to attract more foreign capital, increasing demand for the local currency, and thereby driving up its value. With an appreciation of the domestic currency, the AD will fall because of the value of imports will decrease, while the value of exports will increase. This causes the export revenue to fall as less people would buy the exports, and it will cause the import expenditure to rise as people will now buy more cheaper imports, assuming the Marshall-Lerner's condition is satisfied.
The reduction of interest rates through either lowering cash reserve ratio, lowering bank rate, or buying back of bonds by the central bank, as shown here, will cause investments to rise. This is due to the fact that investors need to pay less interest in return for their loans borrowed from them. From this equation, we see that an increase in gross investment will lead to a rise in net investment, assuming that replacement investment is constant. When investors invest more on production, such as buying of new machines and research and development, more goods can be produced per unit time, and thus the amount of goods available in the market at that particular time period will increase. This will thus increase the productive capacity. This will cause the long-run AS curve to shift to the right, as productive capacity in the long run will increase, hence solving inflation as the GPL has decreased. We can also see that an increase in productive capacity will cause the production possibility curve to be shifted right, as this means more goods can be produced without incurring extra opportunity costs.